I mean, I have to be. I'm feeling extremely good about Rory McIlroy going back-to-back in tournaments, winning the Canadian Open last week, and then obviously in a brilliant position to clinch another US Open title. And then, just looking down the board, Matt Fitzpatrick in a good position, tipped him at the start of the week, and Brian Harman, who was one of my top 10 prop bets. So things are looking good, but above everything, we just have a fantastic leaderboard for this major weekend.
I love it.
Diane,
Hey, speaking of looking good, Zino, what's up, my friend?
that was very nice of you. That was a great way to start this show.
You were already giving me crap this morning. You were giving me crap,
I know.
But you got to kill it with kindness.
Lauren, I give you're like my little sister, and I love you to pieces. And so I get to mess with you whenever I can. And so it's fun because I have the ability to rattle her, Diane, so easily. Like she gets so flustered that it's just fun for me to do. Yes, Lauren has approached today like the Phil Mickelson of the U.S. Open. She's just missing the cut right now this morning. That's it.
I did not.
That's it, Diane. Go ahead, Lauren.
I worked out. I made a smoothie. Now I'm on the show, and then I rushed to Bally Sports, and I'm covering the Braves-Cubs game today. It is a busy day, Zeno. So might have missed the cut on the hair this morning because the hair is a little frizzy, but we're killing the day in total.
You are. Listen, Lauren Jabbar is like the U.S. Army, getting most done before 9 a.m. than most people do all day long. All right, Diane, there's an interesting trend here, and I don't know if you know this, but it's certainly affected the way I'm betting. 25 of the last 26 U.S. Open winners have been in sixth place or better after 2 rounds. So for me, that eliminates the Scotty Schefflers, the Matt Fitzpatricks, and everybody else who is not tied for sixth or higher in this. So if that trend is to hold true, obviously Rory, Colin, guys that have already had major in their back pocket, you feel like they're good bets. But anybody else in the top 6 that you would put your eyes on to go, he's got a legitimate chance to win this?
Well, as you say, Colin Morikawa, Jon Rahm, Rory McIlroy, it's hard to look past any of them. And we always say with the majors that the cream rises to the top. So it's no surprise that we're seeing those guys there. But you cannot rule out Scotty Scheffler, world number 1, who's T8 right now, so just outside that top 6. But, Scotty Scheffler lurking too. He's 3 under, only 2 shots off the lead. So the leaders are at 5 under par today. And I don't think the leaders are going to be at 5 under par by the end of today. I think everyone's going to fall back. The weather already, we've seen that it's a lot cooler. Winds are going to pick up today as well. So I think we're really looking for majority of that leaderboard to fall back. And that's when you have the real strength of field that are going to be able to capitalize. So you can't rule out Scheffler, but we have a lot of, real dark horse names lurking too. And Joel Damon has been the talk of the town. He's on 5 under and tied with Morikawa at the top. It's a brilliant story. He wasn't even going to take part in the Monday 36-hole qualifier for the US Open. He went back and forth. He said he only did because his caddy hadn't had time to change his flight. So he thought, oh, well, we may as well take part in the qualifier and go over it. And look where he is now. So Joel Damon to win outright, he is 22-1 right now, and he's only got 1 win on the PGA Tour. It came in one of these kind of like secondary events, but I love the fact that Damon, Hayden Buckley, Aaron Wise, you've got great names who are all in good form lurking right now in that top 10.
Yeah, you talked about Joel Damon. If there's any other long shots after watching the first 2 days of the U.S. Open to make a run to win it, who would it be other than Joel Damon? Do you have anyone else in your card?
Well, I'm still looking at Brian Harman, and I had picked him for a top 10 finish at the start of the week. He's 40-1 to lead. And Harman just plays well in US Opens. He enjoys these tougher courses, bigger challenges. So Harman's not far back at only 3 under as well. And yeah, Matt Fitzpatrick too. I mean, we spoke about him at the start of the week. He won the US Amateur here in 2013. He's 2 under par right now, and expecting guys to fall back. Fitzpatrick just has that added confidence, not only from winning on this course before, he's had a good start to this US Open, but he's playing the best golf of his career. So I would definitely be looking a little further back. Rory's still my favorite, but we're only getting him at plus 450 right now.
Yeah.
Diane,
No,
I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this from a pairing standpoint. I want to make two bets. Rory's my guy. I want to see him win another one. So I'm going to take him and I'm going to pair him with a long shot because I feel like, if I can get one of the two of them to be in contention on Sunday, I feel like I'm trending in the right direction. So I'm going with Hayden Buckley at plus 5,000 just because of the flyer that's there at 50 to 1. I get a 50 to 1 long shot and Rory McIlroy. As long as Buckley can stay within that top, 6 range heading into Sunday, I'll feel really good about having both those guys with tickets in my back pocket.
Hey, I've got a good little, I know that you like a pattern with your top 6 guys. I've got a good one for you here. Sam Burns is tied for 13th right now at 2 under, which only 3 shots back. But when Curtis Strange won the US Open here at the Country Club in Brookline, he had 2 previous wins that season on the PGA Tour, and the last one had come 2 outings before the US Open. So the guy that fits that mold is Sam Burns.
Ooh.
Exactly the same. He won 2 starts before the US Open. He's had 2 wins already this season. So if you want a little bit of then I would be looking at Sam Burns.
Yeah, I like it. Diane, you know me. I love a little drama, and I love talking about this LIV series. So none of the LIV golfers are under par through the first 2 rounds. I mean, come on now. Like, which of the golfers from the Invitation Series at this point are you most surprised with their score for the first few days? Because I know for me, I kind of like seeing them struggle. I kind of like seeing them struggle.
Why?
Well,
why do you want to see them do badly? Why?
Nobody likes a guy like Bryson.
Okay, nobody likes Bryson DeChambeau no matter where he golfs. He could golf on Mars and people wouldn't like him. That's fine. But I don't get the correlation that everybody's making because they chose to golf on Live.
I just like stirring the pot, Zeno. I just like stirring the pot.
I'll let the professional take
it. And let me
Diane,
stir, okay? Let me stir. Diane, whose score from the LIV golfers are you most surprised with where they're at after 2 days?
I mean, I'm surprised but not surprised with Phil Mickelson just blowing up and missing the cut in spectacular fashion. Surprised because it's Phil and because he won. You have to remember 13 months ago he won the PGA Championship, so it's surprising in that sense. And maybe coming back to this US Open, the only major he hasn't won, he maybe felt he had something to prove, but we didn't see that at all. Not surprisingly, he played horrendous. He looks a shadow of his former self. He's behaving differently. He did get a very warm reception on the course, but golf's not one of those sports where people are going to boo and be against people. So, that's fine. But yeah, polite golf clap. I mean, he played awful, horrendous. So, that was.
Listen, when you sleep on $40 million, it probably get your back a little bit uncomfortable. So he might have been a little bit tight and couldn't get loose on those first 2 days. So that's probably my theory.
I think more like $200 million.
40 could only fit on his bed. He needed to get a bigger bed to sleep on. So
it's actually so crazy. Diane, I also know you're loving the greens and regulation leaders. Who do you have in that kind of betting standpoint on your card today?
We just knew that greens and regulation was going to be a really important stat for the week. And it's funny to see the guys that are leading greens and reg right now for the past 2 days are Rory McIlroy, Joel Dahmen, and Max Homa. So, Damon's odds outright win are 22 to 1. Max Homa, I thought was very interesting. I checked this morning and was like, what? So he's a super high bet. Obviously, he's a little bit further back, but with everyone expected to move back down that leaderboard today and really shoot higher scores, Homa could definitely be a name to watch. Another guy that's had a fantastic season so far, with a couple of wins and has been playing great golf. So he's a total long shot at 350 to 1 to go on and win now. However, I just love the fact that he is really leading in that really important stat category this week. So keep your eyes on Homa. I think he's matched up with DJ today as well.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Zeno, you got anything else? Oh my gosh.
No, I'm just wishing.
The fact that Mark Zeno in our chat box named himself as Studley.
That was a typo.
Studley. I love it.
I do have one other thing. Is what were you going to say?
No, I just was going to say, Diane, I apologize. I like to pick fun names just to see if anybody notices, and Lauren did, of course. But you know, what are friends?
I thought you were going to justify why you were calling yourself Studley, but
no, there is no justification for it. It's like Phil Mickelson's golf game this weekend. Nobody can explain it.
It's not in the confidence department is Brooks Koepka, who I think we definitely have to watch out for this weekend, because he shot 67 on Friday, had opened with a 73 on Thursday, so really put himself in the mix. And he had, in his interview afterwards, some comments that really picked up a lot of traction. He said that he doesn't come out and play in these tournaments to finish in second place. He wants to win. He's got so much confidence, and he thinks that's why people don't like him. I thought, okay, these are kind of bizarre comments.
I can relate.
But I love that you guys found Koepka top 10 at plus 275, and I would definitely take that right now, because I think it's hard, because the Koepka that we saw playing in the PGA Championship that Phil won last year, Thursday, Friday, Saturday was standard major Koepka going after it. And then Sunday, it just wasn't the same. And we haven't really seen that from him again. But getting over the hurdle, making the cut at this US Open, he knows that he's not too far back, so he can really make a move. And he really thrives under these conditions. He's got that confidence. So I would definitely be looking a little bit further back at Brooks Koepka too.
Brooks Koepka to make a run today. I like it, to finish top 10 plus 275. Diane, we so appreciate your take on everything US Open. I want to see a little more drama with the LIV golfers today. And we'll be talking to you this next week. Best of luck with your bets. Fingers crossed for Rory getting his second win in 2 weeks.
How good would that be? Guys, have a great weekend. Thank you.
Take care,
Diane. Appreciate you. Diane Knox Balas always hitting us with the absolute fire golf
DKB.
Picks. All right, Studley. Yes. Let's head to the ballpark. Talk about some of your baseball bets that you have going on today. The Atlanta Braves, obviously snapping a 14-game win streak. All good things come to an end, but the beautiful thing about it is another streak starts today, but not in the first inning, because you're on their NRFI.
Yeah, I like the situation. I'm also on this game on Atlanta minus 1.5. Here's what I did. I basically just took this handicap. I wiped out the 14-game win streak from the Braves, and I wiped out the 10-game losing streak from the Cubs, and said objectively, what are these two teams, right? Because streaks in baseball are hard when you do it every day, and they're not the norm. But what are these two teams? The Braves are the better team than the Cubs. They have the better starter on the mound today. And this is a team right now that is hitting the ball better than what the Cubs are. So from that standpoint, I'm actually going to lay the 1.5 with Atlanta on the run line at plus 104 and think that they're going to win today. I didn't feel as comfortable just taking them on the money line, because I hate paying that kind of juice. But as far as the first inning is concerned, the Cubs are the #1 team in Major League Baseball in first inning run scored percentage at 45.3%. Why is this number juiced to the under then, if this is the best team in baseball at scoring runs in the first inning?
Because Kyle Wright's on the mound.
Bingo. Only been scored on in the first inning twice this season in 12 starts. He's already beaten the Cubs. Don't have to worry about the Braves scoring. They're 24th in Major League Baseball in first inning run scored percentage. And Justin Steele of the Cubs has not given up a first inning run in 7 consecutive starts. So this is going to end up being my play of the day. We'll get to it later on again, but going to back the Braves and the Cubs here in the first inning. 2 other NRFIs I'm looking at, Cleveland and the Dodgers. Cal Quantrill is going. This is the real question mark for the Guardians. In 11 starts this year, he's only been scored 3 times. Only been scored on 3 times, but it's happened the last 2 starts in a row. So I want a little baseball regression to come in here. Jose Urias has been very, very effective, and this is a Guardians team that isn't very good at scoring in the first inning. But Cleveland also is 6th overall on the road in opponent first inning run scored percentage, allowing runs to be scored just 23% of the time, sort of negating the Dodgers being 6th overall in first inning run scored percentage here. So we get a moderate price at minus 113. That's our second NRFI. And our third is between Philadelphia and Washington. And this is a real wild card here because Josiah Gray is on the mound. Now, this is a game I actually also like the over in because I think runs are going to be scored. Josiah Gray, the last time out, held his opponent scoreless in the first inning. LJ, the previous 5 starts in a row, he allowed a first inning run.
Really?
So, Yes,
So
really.
why are you betting the no-run first inning then, Zeno? Tell me more.
Because again, it is juiced to the under. And I'm following the money here. That's kind of been my theory here. But Aaron Nola is starting for Philadelphia. Now, Washington has actually been very good at scoring runs in the first inning. They're 8th overall in first inning run scored percentage. They have the 4th highest opponent first inning run scored percentage. So all this is trending in the wrong direction, but the money says go to the under. So I'm going to follow it here for a very small play and take the under.
He's hoping for a lot of really good pitching today. 3 no-run first innings for Mr. Studley, Mark Zeno. You also have an over strikeouts. You're just thinking these pitchers are going off on a Saturday.
Well, Kyle Bradish has done really well for me and for us on this show. I know Glaze has backed him as well a couple of times, but his K prop is over 4.5. There's actually some shops where it's 3.5, but it's juiced to like minus 175, which is nuts. But he's gotten to 5 Ks in 5 of his last 8 starts. Tampa Bay strikes out the 6th most times per game on the road this year with 9.1 strikeouts. As long as Bradish gets into the 5th, if he doesn't get rocked early, it's happened a couple of times to him where he's only less than 2 innings because he gave up like 7 runs. If he can survive early, get me to the 5th, I feel good about his K prop going over. 1 K prop under. Jose Urias, as we mentioned, with the Dodgers going against the Guardians. Cleveland Guardians, #1 team in strikeout rate, lowest strikeout rate in Major League Baseball. Urias coming off an 11 strikeout performance against the Giants will get him back to normal. He'll have some regression here today.
Yeah, I like it. You want to know a strikeout prop that I'm looking at, not today, but in the future, is Charlie Morton. Did you see the way he pitched yesterday against the Chicago Cubs?
It was the best start he's had in 2 years. It was the best start he's had in 2 years.
9 punch-outs, and then the game before that, 12. So whatever his total is, bet the over on it in like 4 days when I think they're taking on.
Listen, since you are a Braves gal, okay, the other K prop to look at routinely is Spencer Strider.
He is literally so awesome. I think I actually might start growing a mustache just to like try to be as awesome as he is.
All right, don't make it weird. Okay, I'll do the mustache growing here. Okay, you just fix the hair that you already have. Don't worry about getting more.
Okay, all right, Zeno. All right. Speaking of unders, though, you talked about your strikeout under prop. Let's take it to the ice because we got game 2 of the NHL final at Ball Arena. The Avs up 1-0 in the series. The Lightning have been down 1-0 in 3 of their 4 playoff series this year. They've ended up winning all 3 of those series so far. The Avs have now won, though, 6 postseason games in a row. And game 1 was amazing. I want 6 more of those for 2 reasons. 1, because I love postseason hockey and I don't want hockey to be over. And 2, I bet it's on a 7-game series. So give me 7 games in this series, I love it. But here's the thing is Vasilevsky, the Avs were able to beat him 4 times. I don't think that's going to happen again in this series. So I'm really looking at the under, and that is actually going to be my play of the day. So I'm going to save it for a second. But I think in terms of sides, this makes me really sad. But I think I might be on the Tampa Bay money line today. You were on the Avs puck line. I want to hear more about your reasoning of why.
Well, again, and we talked about this. Like the fan in me loves dynasties, right? So I'd love to see Tampa Bay win a 3rd straight cup. And as an Islander fan, I don't want anybody to win 4 straight because that's, reserved for the greatest of the great. But I just love dynasties. I think they're great for sports. So the fan in me wants to see the Lightning win this thing. The friend in me wants you to be happy, so the Avs win this thing. But this is purely about the money and where it's going here. Lauren, 65% of the tickets in this game are on Tampa Bay plus 1.5 on the puck line. Why? Because the public is all saying it's a 2-time defending Stanley Cup champ. They've lost game 1 before. They've come back and they've won game 2. I'm getting an extra goal in my pocket here by taking plus 1.5. I don't care what the juice is. I'm going to pay it. However, 65% of the money is on the Avs minus 1.5 on the puck line. And that's what I'm following. The minus 1.5 is not the smart bet in hockey. It's always the plus 1.5. Just like in baseball, it's the plus 1.5 on the run line. It's the plus 1.5 on the puck line. I looked at the Avalanche 3-way money line, but you know how I feel about 3-way money lines. There are more outcomes that are not in your favor than are. You would have lost Avalanche 3-way money line in game 1. So
guess who bet the Avalanche 3-way money line in game 1 for their best bet of the day?
Yeah, my guess it would be you. But and after a 3-0 lead, you must have been doing cartwheels, which is why, again, it's not, there are more outcomes that are against you than for you in a 3-way money line. That's why it's set up the way it is. So let's back the Avs here and follow the money. -1.5 on the puck line. It's like plus 170. It's the payout is great. The odds are not in your favor, but something is telling me just to follow the money in this spot.
Yeah. I want that to happen. And you know me, I'm the biggest Avalanche fan. Obviously, I worked for them for 3 years. I want the Avs to win the whole thing. I bet on them to win in a 7-game series, 4-3. This is how I want it to be written. But to get to that 4-3 series win, I need the Lightning to win a couple games. And I think that this is a game that they're going to be able to steal back from the Colorado Avalanche. Fun fact for you, though, teams that win game 1 in the Stanley Cup final have an all-time series record of 62-20. So basically, most of the teams that are winning game 1, they're winning the Stanley Cup final, and I think that that's going to happen for the Colorado Avalanche. And 3 of the last 4 Stanley Cup champions, though, have rallied to win after losing the finals series opener. I mean, I think twice Tampa Bay Lightning did. So I know the Lightning got off to a rough start. Vasilevsky led in some soft goals, which we usually don't see from him in a spot like that. And Tampa Bay had a chance, despite a poor first period effort from Andrei Vasilevsky, and they still found a way to erase a 3-goal deficit on only 23 shots. Darcy Kemper did not have his best night at all. He had a sub-900 save percentage in his first game back from injury. And Wednesday's overtime win was the 5th straight game that he finished with a save percentage below 900. He's what worries me about this series for the Colorado Avalanche. The defense that the Avs have is first out of the 16 postseason teams in terms of expected goals allowed per game. Their offense, obviously one of the best offenses that we've seen in the postseason and in the National Hockey League in general. It is Darcy Kemper that really stresses me out. Avs have the better offense. They're more explosive. They have more speed, and their transition game in the neutral zone is phenomenal. But so did the Leafs. So did the Panthers. Guess who was able to shut those 2 teams down? The Tampa Bay Lightning. John Cooper was able to make those adjustments. And so I look at the Tampa Bay Lightning here. They're experienced. They've been there before. They've been down 1-0 in a series. They're going to come back and win this game. I think that they're going to do it in regulation, but I like them on the money line at plus money, plus 132. It makes me sad. It really hurts my heart. But if Tampa Bay can slow down the Avs' speed, the advantage is with them just because of Andre Vasilevsky.
This is a big contrasting styles series here, Lauren, and that's the issue. I mean, you talked about Kemper's save percentage. Why? Because he only faced 23 shots and 3 of them went in. Like that's
3 of them. That third one was a freaking cookie.
I know. And so the point is, look, he didn't play well. I'm not saying he did play well, but you're talking about an Avalanche team that's going to do volume shooting against Vasilevsky. Yeah. They're willing to just pump a shot from anywhere in the offensive zone and hope that it gets deflected or hope that a rebound is there. It's their whole entire offense. And I don't know where the scoring is going to come from Tampa Bay, whether it's Kucherov or Palat. I mean, somebody's got to start to generate some offense from them. But really, it's about Colorado peppering the hell out of Vasilevsky and Tampa Bay not really worried about offense. They're playing from the goal out, right? They just want to defend as best as they can, and they feel comfortable with the scores that they have. Will find the back of the net with the limited scoring chances that they have, and that's what got them into overtime in game 1. I just don't know if it goes 7, like you said, if that's a sustainable formula for 7 games.
Yeah, no, totally. I totally agree with you. But it's tough. It's tough because I want the Avs to win so bad. Another prop that I haven't bet yet, but that I'm looking at, you mentioned Palat. I like Andre Palat at plus 375 for over 2 points. I was actually just looking at that when you were talking. So over 2 points for Andre Palat. He has 17 points right now through 18 playoff games this postseason. FanDuel doesn't have it at over 1 point or over a half a point. I think Caesars might have Andre Palat over a half a point. So I would look at that. 17 points through 18 playoff games. He's basically averaging 1 point per game in the way that Kemper's playing. It really stresses me out. Like, I trust the Avs defense more than anything, especially being led by a guy like Cale Makar and Devon Taves in that top defensive pairing. But you saw what happened last game. I mean, Kucherov absolutely put Devon Toews on skates by like dangling the crap out of him on, what was it? It was the second goal, I think, to set up whoever scored the second goal. I don't even remember, but I just remember that dangle was disgusting. I'm also looking at the under 6, but before we get into that, since that's my best bet of the day, Zeno, let's go to Pickswise.com. Who do we have for our 3-star play of the day?
Well, I mean, we still have Diane Knox Balas plays out there because she is one of the best in the biz when it comes to golf. So again, tail her with Rory or whoever else she has out there. But we do have one 3-star play of the day in soccer in MLS. So go check it out there if you're into the MLS.
Major League Football.
Yeah, MLS, that too. And oh, by the way, how excited are you that the World Cup is coming to the United States of America? Yeah.
Into Atlanta, where we're living in 2026.
Are you going to get the sideline reporting gig for that?
I'm hoping by 2026, maybe. That would be awesome. I would love that. We'll see what happens. You know what? Got to take it day by day. Do the work.
You never know.
Put in the work and see what happens. You know? Okay, let's get into our best bets today. I'll start first since we were just talking about hockey. I know I bet the under last game, and it was looking not so great, but it's fine. I just missed. It just missed. The fact that the Lightning tied up that game when it was 3-0, I'm like, I'm winning this under, and I'm winning my Avs 3 money line bet, and then it all fell to shit. But you know what? The Avs won, and they're up 1-0 in the series. But I'm going to go back to the well, under 6 in this spot, and you can push if it gets to 6. This Vasilevsky is in a bounce-back spot for me. I expect a lot more out of him tonight. He allowed 4 goals on 38 shots in Game 1. In games after a loss, Vasilevsky is 4-1 with a 90.7 save percentage. And Colorado did a really good job of limiting Tampa Bay's offense. They outshot them by 15. And they also looked really, really good on the penalty kill. I said at the beginning of this series that special teams are going to be a huge factor in this series. There was 2 Tampa Bay power plays that they didn't even get a single shot on net. So the Colorado Avalanche penalty kill has been phenomenal, and I think they're going to be able to shut down Tampa Bay, both 5-on-5. And, I mean, they only allowed 23 shots on goal. There have been 6 or fewer goals scored in 10 of the Lightning's last 12 playoff games, and 6 or less goals scored in 3 of the Avs' last 6 games. Colorado ranks first in the postseason out of the 16 teams that were in this postseason defensively in expected goals against per 60. The Lightning only had 23 shots on goal. If Kemper can clean it up a little bit, this game is going under because we all know Vasilevsky is not going to let 4 goals in again. So I like the under 6 for Game 2 is my best bet of the day. You like a NRFI. So no runs, no goals. We're both going for no.
Yeah. No. Like Dikembe. Yeah, let's stay right here in Atlanta, or at least with the Atlanta Braves, and as they face the Chicago Cubs in Game 2 of their series after the Braves had their 14-game win streak snapped. Braves and Cubs. Cubs are the #1 team in Major League Baseball in first inning run scored percentage at 45.3%. Why am I backing an under here? Well, they're going up against Kyle Wright, who's got a 2.5 ERA and a 1.08 whip. And not only that, in 12 starts this year, he's only been scored upon twice. He's already beaten the Cubs this year. And so he knows how to face this lineup. I think that's massively important. But Justin Steele toes the rubber for the Cubs. He hasn't given up a first inning run in 7 consecutive starts. Plus, Braves are 24th in Major League Baseball in first inning run scored percentage. Despite the fact that the Cubs are the best team in baseball at scoring in the first inning, this is juiced to the under. I'll follow the money and take a NRFI between Atlanta and Chicago.
I like it. No goals, no runs. No more show for us. That is about it here on Let's Bet It. Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. Best of luck with your bets tonight. We'll see. Actually, we don't have a show tomorrow because there's no Game 7 NBA. It's just baseball. So we'll see you back here on Monday. Good luck, everybody. Let's get it. Let's bet it. Mark Zeno, Lauren Jabara. Peace.